During World War I, Italy was mired in brutal trench warfare against the Austro-Hungarian army on the front lines of northern Italy. At the height of the war in 1916, a group of young Italian officers that were tired of the constant trench warfare suggested a new type of unit be formed to break the bloody stalemate. They would be comprised strictly of volunteers that would serve as the backbone in seizing enemy positions. The Italian High Command agreed to the idea, and these soldiers were given special status, but weren't yet officially given a new unit title. They were called the Arditi, translated into English as the Daring Ones. The volunteers were selected from among the most renowned soldiers of the Italian army. They were picked predominantly from the already elite, highly mobile infantry units of the Bersaglieri, or the Alpini, Italy's famed mountain troops. Both groups were widely known for their bravery, strength, and battlefield stamina. Before these volunteers could officially join the Arditi, they had to complete a specialized school that mimicked the dangers and risks of the front lines. The fatality rate was high due to the extremely realistic methods during training. They had to be resilient to the noise and force of artillery barrages, which could weaken the morale of many other soldiers of the time period. Their main offensive tactic was to rush enemy trenches while friendly artillery was hammering their positions. They were trained from a 14th century Italian manual of fencing and martial arts, which would give them the advantage in close quarters in hand-to-hand combat. They were encouraged not to carry their long rifles into combat, as their unique strategy relied heavily on surprise and speed. Instead, they were typically armed with daggers, which they carried in their teeth, and hand grenades. The grenades were used to create panic and confusion right before the Arditi jumped into the enemy trench for direct assaults with their dagger, stabbing and killing all enemy troops while they were still recovering and dazed from the incoming artillery fire. Their mission was to clear enemy trenches and hold the positions until regular army units could relieve them, which could take longer than a day in some circumstances. They were also trained with machine guns, flamethrowers, and cannons when going up against fortified positions. Their motto of "we either win or we all die" was unfortunately accurate for some Arditi troops, as on one occasion an entire unit of 13 officers and 400 soldiers were killed in a single assault in April 1916 on an enemy position. The Arditi typically carried out suicide charges and had up to a 30% casualty rate on most missions. In July 1917, there were now around 18,000 Arditi, and they were officially given new unit classification by Italian King Victor Emmanuel. The Arditi were especially renowned for their actions along the River Piave in 1918, at the front lines where the advance of the Austro-Hungarian army was halted. By then, they had become an entire division of assault troops with 9 units. A group of Arditi would swim silently across the river at night with their knife in their mouths and stealthily kill and create havoc on the enemy positions. These men used a special type of Sardinian dagger called the Resalza that could penetrate the thick collars of the enemy troops. They would later be dubbed the Caimans of the Piave for their actions along the river. Their biggest impact of the war came in October 1918, when the recently established 2 assault divisions of the Arditi charged the Austro-Hungarian lines at the River Piave, majorly contributing to the Italian breakthrough in the battle. By November 4th, the Austro-Hungarian forces were completely defeated. This led to the end of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the end of World War I a week later, on November 11, 1918. By January 1920, all Arditi army units were officially disbanded. Their impact and legacy still lives with the Italian Special Forces to the present day.